Oh, now I gotta put everything back now.
I was originally planning on having this entire video scripted because I am very bad at keeping track of stuff I want to say, and I start yapping about stuff that aren't the main point that I want to talk about.
There we go.
So without dragging it anymore, I'm going to talk about my entire video game collection. Consoles that I have had since I was a child, up to the consoles that I currently have that I bought at thrift stores, or I got them from friends, or I just bought them at retro game stores. So the first console I'm going to talk about is the Nintendo NES. Now, I've already made somewhat of a dedicated video to this console, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but in general, this was my childhood console, and these are all the games that I grew up with. Mainly, these 4 games. Street Fighter 2 for the SNES, Disney's Aladdin, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, and Mario is Missing. I've played all of these games. Donkey Kong Country 2 was the game I played mostly with my brother. We played a lot on that game. Probably one of my favorite Donkey Kong games of all time. Street Fighter 2 is the game that I have been playing a lot as a kid. That is my favorite Street Fighter game on the SNES. Street Fighter 2 mainly being the fighting game that has started my journey of enjoying fighting games in general. Disney's Aladdin for the SNES. This one's a little interesting. I hear people saying that the Sega Genesis version of this game is a lot better. I've seen footage. It's not too special of a difference. I prefer this game mainly because 1, I played it. 2, it's not that bad. Another game I grew up with but haven't really played as much is the game that's being played right behind me. It is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. First game I've ever played in terms of Legend of Zelda games. I have played many more after that, but this one I haven't really played much. I have kept this game stashed somewhere for a long time, and only recently did I find it again after buying the SNES again. This game though, Mario is Missing, on the other hand, is not really a game I can say positive things about, mainly because it's a dog shit game. This is meant to be a kid's game, teaching them geography about the world and helping Luigi find his brother alongside Yoshi. I never figured out how to beat this game. I even looked up walkthroughs online. I could never figure it out. Another game that I didn't really grow up with, but now I own, is Super Mario World for the SNES. This game I've played, I've seen clips of it, I've played it on my own. It's pretty fun. I do like this game. And another thing that's part of this collection that I do really enjoy is the Super Game Boy cartridge for the SNES. This is a cartridge you use to play Game Boy games, funnily enough. This is a cartridge for backwards compatibility for the SNES. I really like it. It helps me play games that I had on the Game Boy. It's pretty fucking cool. Now, the next console I want to talk about from my collection is one that I personally did not have any personal connection to in first person, aside from secondhand experience. This is the Nintendo GameCube, the silver version specifically, with its silver controller. I really like this one. I picked this up at a retro game store for about 60 bucks-ish. And of course, I can't get a console without getting a few games, you know what I mean? Originally, I got the GameCube because I missed out on it, but the one experience I did have with the GameCube was way back in my childhood when a neighbor of mine actually owned a purple GameCube, and he had a game playing on his TV the one time I went over to his place for his birthday party, and that game was Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes was the GameCube game I personally wanted to play for the longest time because, again, I saw it playing on his GameCube. It looked really fun to play. I forever wanted to play that game, and now I have a copy for myself. This one is sealed. I picked it up at a retro game store for about almost $100, which is crazy. Games should not be that expensive nowadays, especially retro ones. Another game I picked up for myself is Mario Kart Double Dash. I like Mario Kart. I've made videos about me playing Mario Kart. I wanted to try out Double Dash for the first time. It looks interesting. I played it a bit. I suck really bad at this game. Completely different ball game compared to other Mario Kart games that I've played before. Next up is a game that I got at a thrift store for very cheap. But this game is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, one of the first Legend of Zelda games that I've seen gameplay of online. I picked this up at a thrift store for 20 bucks alongside another game, which was Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Both of them sitting on the shelf of the front desk for 20 bucks each. Very cheap. This is something that I got very lucky in buying. Now, the last game for the GameCube that I own is Super Mario Sunshine. Unfortunately, this game does not work. It has a big scratch on the back. Don't trust Marketplace, all right? Don't trust Facebook Marketplace when buying games. This is now just paperweight for me. I do not plan on doing anything special with it. And last but not least, the last game I want to talk about is what's currently playing behind me, Shadow the Hedgehog for GameCube. I picked up this game because it looked really cool, thanks to a favorite YouTuber of mine called Lightero. He made an entire video playing Shadow the Hedgehog. It looked really fun and I wanted to play for myself. I bought this game at a retro game store and I was lucky enough to find it at that place because they posted a reel about the recent trades that they got. And the one game that I zeroed in on was Shadow the Hedgehog in a plastic case. This little plastic case right here. I don't have the official box. I don't think I want to get it. I mean, I do want to get it in the future, but it's going to cost me a shit ton. More than the game itself. This game cost me 40 bucks. And another thing I want to specify about my experience with the GameCube, I found a fascination with the GameCube controllers. As you can see, this silver GameCube controller is really fucking cool. I really like it. And I made a promise to myself, not really a promise. I made it a mission to pick up all of the GameCube controllers versions that I can get. I just want to get 4. Currently, I have 3. The silver one, the black GameCube controller that I picked up at a retro game store, and probably my prized possession for the GameCube is the orange GameCube controller exclusive to Japan. I do plan on getting a 4th controller, that being the purple GameCube controller, first party, not third party. I'm debating whether I want to get a Wavebird, but Wavebirds cost quite a lot of money. The next console I want to talk about in my collection is the PS2. Again, one console that I did not grow up with, but I have gained a fascination for over the years. I have gotten a few games for it, but after realizing that the fat PS2 that I have here is backwards compatible with PS1 games, I was able to get some PS1 games for it as well. And one of the first games that I wanted to talk about is actually a game that I have been on the lookout as a separate part of a collection, but also a very lucky find for me at a thrift store, and that is Final Fantasy VII for the PS1. This game I was lucky enough to find at a thrift store, sitting in the exact same spot where this PS2 was. Actually, this PS2 and this game go hand in hand in history of me finding them. So yes, I have the Final Fantasy game right here, as well as Final Fantasy IX for PS1. These two games, Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX, have a very interesting history for me. I have originally never heard of Final Fantasy, but I have seen cutscenes of Final Fantasy, and that is because I watched an AMV of someone using a remix version of Vivaldi's Storm, played by a violinist, and in the AMV on YouTube that I was watching on the family computer as a kid was cutscenes of Final Fantasy VII, 8, and 9 being played. That is my first experience with both Final Fantasy and AMVs on the internet. I'm very glad I have those two in my collection. I do want to get through them. They are games that I got interest in. Other PS1 games that I bought are Street Fighter Alpha 3. This game, I found it at a retro game store as a very lucky find. And last PS1 game that I have here is Spider-Man for the PS1. Now, onto the PS2 games that I actually want to get to. Currently, the game behind me that's being played is Drakengard, the first game in the line of Drakengard games, but also the game that kind of goes hand in hand with the Nier Automata series. Now, I really like Nier Automata. I really like Nier Replicant. Drakengard is one of the games that's on there. And the first two games that I got for the PS2, technically, are hand-me-downs from a good friend of mine. I have here Kingdom Hearts 2, Greatest Hits Edition, and Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. These two games I haven't gone to playing yet, but I will eventually. But these two are really cool. I really appreciate my friend giving them to me. The next game that I have here is Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. Oh my goodness, I really like Street Fighter. Street Fighter Anniversary Collection is a compilation of 2 games from the Street Fighter 15th anniversary. And that is Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I mainly got this game because of Third Strike. After seeing Evo Moment 37, after seeing some gameplay of it, I really wanted to play Street Fighter Third Strike the best way that I could. Apparently this is the second best way to experience Third Strike. The main one right now, I think the community is saying, is the online version for PS3. I have the demo of that, but I do not want to spend money on it. The next 2 games that I have here are Final Fantasy games as well. Those being Final Fantasy X and X-2. Again, not the games that I experienced as a kid, but the games that I wanted to get because they were available to me for the PS2. I got these at a retro game store for about 15 bucks each. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Second to last game I have here is Disgaea Hour of Darkness. I'm not really a big fan of turn-based tactical JRPGs, but this game hooked me because of the art style, and mainly because it is an interesting game that I might as well give it a shot, you know? Last but not least, the one game that originally was going to be part of my PS2 experience lineup was Shadow of the Colossus, the original PS2 version. I did not get the combo of Shadow of the Colossus and Ico. The main reason why I got Shadow of the Colossus was because I saw one of my favorite streamers, Nags21, play the PS4 remaster of the game. It made me want to experience Shadow of the Colossus. I did not want to spend 80 bucks on the updated version, so I opted to just getting the original for the PS2. And yeah, that's pretty much my PS2 collection right here. Next up on my video game collection for consoles, it is the PS3. I picked up this PS3 right here at the exact same thrift store as I picked up the PS2 and the GameCube games, A Thousand Year Door and Wind Waker for GameCube. While I did not grow up with the PS3 or PS2 or PlayStation in general, I still had a somewhat interest in this console because there are a bunch of games that I wanted to play on it after having experienced the PS4 at a family friend's place, and they had a copy of Uncharted 4 playing on it. So with that, these are all the games that I have for the PS3. To start things off, actually, this PS3 came with games on its own. I got it all for about 100-ish bucks, which is honestly a pretty good deal. I see these PS3s go for about 80 to 90 bucks ish Canadian, but when it came with games, my goodness, I could not skip out on that deal. So the games that came with it, I don't know why I have it, but Rock Band for the PS2 is one of them. I got God of War 3. I got Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops, the first one, and God of War Collection, which is a compilation of God of War 1 and 2. Alright, so those are the loose ones that I have on plastic cases. The first actual PS3 game that I bought online for myself is Drakengard 3, the game that's playing in the background. This game, I got it off of Amazon for about 45 bucks-ish after having enough money to buy it. My goodness, it was worth it. Same story as Drakengard 1 for the PS2. Drakengard 3 is part of the lore of Yoko Taro games. I really like Yoko Taro stuff, such as Nier Automata and Nier Replicant, so I really like the Drakengard series. Next up is the the trilogy of games that I got for the PS3. And that is the Uncharted series. This is technically the second game series that I got for the PS3. After getting Drakengard 3, I bought Uncharted 1 online as well. And then after beating that, I got Uncharted 2. After beating Uncharted 2, I got Uncharted 3. This series is actually pretty good. Probably one of my favorites for the PS3 in general. I quite liked the action-adventure gameplay of it. I'd probably say it's in my top 20 favorite games of all time. Next up is a Call of Duty I never thought I'd own, is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 technically being one of the most popular Call of Duty games of all time. I do not play FPS games for online play or ranked stuff. For Call of Duty and the Call of Duty series in general, I usually play the campaigns. That's usually what I do for FPS games. After that, it is the Devil May Cry HD collection. I picked this up at a retro game store. Currently going through the first one of 3 games, Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. Halfway through the first one, I got a couple of hours in it. It's pretty interesting. It kind of shows its age, so I'm not a big fan of the camera controls for the first game, but I hear it gets better over time. Next up is a game that kind of dates back in a different way, is Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. Originally, I did not know anything about JRPGs, but I did know about the main character for this game, Lloyd. He was featured in Super Smash Flash 2, the Super Smash Bros. Flash game, and Lloyd was one of the characters featured in it. So naturally, I was interested in Lloyd, so I wanted to see where the character came from, and so I picked up Tales of. Technically, the Tales of series was the first JRPG I wanted to get into, instead of having to join the Final Fantasy crowd, because I thought Final Fantasy was way too popular, and so I didn't want to associate with something based on popularity. So I wanted to try something different. And so Tales of series is the JRPG that I wanted to get into. Ultimately failed, of course. I got into this way after Final Fantasy. But yeah, I will definitely give this a shot. Next up is the second, actually no, this is the first Sonic game that I got for the PS3, is Sonic Unleashed. I'm a decent fan of Sonic games. I kind of played some Sonic games growing up. I think it's a common opinion that people enjoy the daylight version of Sonic over the nighttime version of Sonic for gameplay. Another Call of Duty game that I got for the PS3 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Both Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3, I got them at a retro game store for $5 total. Again, I play for the campaign, not really for the multiplayer. However, way back in middle school, I had a friend who invited me over to his place, and he also had a PS3, but he had the original fat model of the PS3. This is the second version, the PS3 Slim. This one is not compatible with PS2 games, but it is backwards compatible with PS1 and PS3 games. Anyway, he had Modern Warfare 3. We played split screen, not co-op, split screen versus. It's pretty fun. I just got it because, you know, I want to check out the mainline story. Next up, talking about Final Fantasy, here we have Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. To be honest, I just got them because of the main character here, Lightning. You know, the only reason why people get into Final Fantasy 13. Next up is the game that is the funniest shit I've ever played, Sonic 06. I mean, who would have thought? What game collection, small game collection, would it be complete without Sonic 06? The shittiest Sonic game of all time. I blame Lythero for getting me into this game. I watched this video of him playing all 3 campaigns, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. It's so bad, it's funny as fuck. I currently have beaten the Sonic and Shadow campaign, currently going through the Silver campaign. But yeah, dog shit game. I do not recommend it unless you think it's funny. Next up is the continuation of the Disgaea series on PS1, is Disgaea 3 and 4. I got these for the same reason as Disgaea 1. The art style looks fucking sick. I do like it. I plan on getting to these after beating the first game. Next up is a game that was also a continuation from Kingdom Hearts 2. Technically a prequel, is Kingdom Hearts 1, actually Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix. I bought this to start from the beginning to see what it's all about. And we're nearing the last 2 PS3 games that I own. Next up is Hatsune Miku Project Diva F2nd. This is the first rhythm game I ever own on console. And if you see my previous video of me explaining my history with rhythm games, I used footage of Project Diva. That was from this game. The songs on this I'm not familiar with, but I kind of do know like 1 or 2 of them. I'm not a fan of them, but I do want to get into them. So here's the game for that. It is actually one of the hardest rhythm games I've ever played. Probably one of the hardest rhythm games in general. Last but definitely not least, the last PS3 game I own and the latest one I bought is Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax. This is an anime fighting game featuring characters from the Dengeki Bunko light novel website of characters associated with Kadokawa. And so you got characters like Kirito from Sword Art Online, Asuna from Sword Art Online, characters from Excel World, Shakugan no Shana, Durarara, a certain scientific railgun, irregulars at Magic High School, and other characters. This is a game I do not understand how to fucking play. This version does not have combo trials or a tutorial. I think the PS4 port of it does. Difficult ass game. I don't see that many people talk about it online. It's pretty niche, I guess. I like fighting games. I might as well try some of the anime fighting games as well. Now, I would show it to you, but I currently don't have it. I do have my next console. It is the Xbox 360. And all of these are the games that I currently own for it. So the story about my Xbox 360 is that it was originally not meant for me. My family in Mexico messaged us in 2013 saying, hey, before you come to Mexico to visit us, buy us an Xbox 360, please. And so we did that. We got the cheapest version that was currently available, which was the Xbox 360 bundled with Disneyland Adventures and Kinect Adventures, which is these two games right here. I do not play these games at all for shit. The Kinect kind of sucks, but we bought the Xbox, we gave it to them, and they gave it back to us within a week and a half of our trip in Mexico. They didn't know why it wasn't working, because apparently it didn't work when they got it. They gave it back to us, and after 2 months of that trip, we came back to Canada, and me and my dad, we plugged the Xbox into the TV, and wouldn't you know it, it turned on, we put a game in it, and it worked. Turns out it wasn't broken. It was actually region locked. The Canadian Xbox 360 cannot play Mexican games at all. Too bad for my Mexican cousins. Now I own a Xbox 360. Anyway, next games that I want to talk about for this collection is the Battlefield 3 Limited Edition. This game was the first FPS game that I ever played, specifically on Xbox 360, but also in general. It's an okay game. I played the campaign a couple of times. It's pretty fun. Next up is the Assassin's Creed series. Now, I originally got Assassin's Creed 1 back in 2014, if I remember correctly. 2014 or 2015, one of the two. I remember the day that I wanted to buy a Xbox game on my own. I picked out this one because I thought it was really cool looking. Turns out it's M-rated, of course, because there's a lot of stuff happening in it that's M-rated. The clerk at the EB Games, oh my god, I haven't said that in a long time, EB Games, he asked me to bring a parent over so I can properly buy it. Of course, it makes sense. You cannot buy a M-rated game if you're a kid below 17 years old. Anyway, after playing this game a shit ton, I completed this game within a day and a half after getting it. I played it so much, I grinded through it. It was so fun. But because of the Assassin's Creed 1 game, I ended up getting the rest of the game series. I have here Assassin's Creed 2, 3, Black Flag, Brotherhood, Revelations, and Rogue. I'm currently going through Rogue right now because I had an unfortunate happening where my game froze halfway through my playthrough and it permanently stopped working on that save data. I could not access it. I put the game into the Xbox 360 and it would not load up. I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I had to delete my save file and reboot my Xbox as well. So now I have to restart Rogue in its entirety. I don't know how many hours I put into it, but it is what it is. Next up, the first Sonic game I ever played, Sonic Generations for Xbox 360. This is a very fun game, probably one of my favorite Xbox 360 games of all time. Funny story about Sonic Generations specifically. Back in 2013 or 2014, I was hanging out with my friend Kolani. We were at a Shoppers Drug Mart, and we passed by the game section. I waltzed near the game section, and I picked out the PS3 version of Sonic Generations, and I presented it to him. He's like, oh my god, look at this, dude, you definitely play this, you're a Sonic fan, this is really cool, you should play it. And then I brought it over to his mom and he said, hey, can you buy this game for my friend Kalani here? I know this game is actually pretty fun. And so she bought it, gave it to him, and I think that was like one of the funniest moments ever for us both. Next up, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. This was the first online game I ever played, I ever bought as well. I got it at a Walmart. And at the time, I didn't know that this was an online-only game and that we needed an extra storage space for it. I did not have either. I did not have Xbox Live, and my Xbox 360 did not have an internal hard drive. So what I had to do was ask my parents to get both, and I played the shit out of this game since then. This game is one of my favorite third-person shooter games of all time. I played as every single plant character at one point. I only played as the soldier zombie for most of the online play of it. It was really fun. Yeah, I really like that game. Unfortunately, I cannot play it anymore because the servers are down. I am not playing Garden Warfare 2. That game sucks ass. Moving on to Just Dance 4. Because it is a Kinect game, I played it with my family a lot, especially my siblings. I can beat anyone in Just Dance 4 because I learned and memorized a few of the songs by heart, and I can play them with my eyes closed. Next up, it is Mirror's Edge for the Xbox 360. The first one. I cannot play this game anymore because Xbox decided to make an update for the game, but I cannot access it because the servers are down, no longer supported. So this game is just dead weight now in my collection. It's unfortunate. After that, Batman Arkham City. I got it as a birthday present. I played through the entire campaign. Really fun. I would play it again. I completed it like 2 or 3 times. Just Cause 2. I played the campaign, completed it. It's an okay game. I don't really have that many memories. However, I do remember using the grappling game mechanics so much in this game. It's probably the happiest I've ever been when playing that game. After that, it is actually something very important to me when it comes to Xbox 360. It is Super Street Fighter 4. This game was the first Street Fighter game I have ever played after the incident of me selling my SNES as a kid and selling a Street Fighter 2 along with it. I thought I would never see the light of day of a Street Fighter game ever again. But then this game came out and I bought it at EB Games used, and I never looked back. This is the reason why I continued being a Street Fighter fan. And I still like Street Fighter to this day. I have Street Fighter 6 on Steam. I am currently silver as Ken. Next up is the Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns game for the Xbox 360. This was the actual first Final Fantasy game I bought back in 2016 or 2017. This is the game that I thought was a standalone game. I didn't know it was part of a trilogy, but I also bought it because, of course, main character Lightning here, she's just standing there. Moving on is a game I haven't really played a lot. It is the Metal Gear Solid 5 the Phantom Pain game. I have not gone past the first mission. Actually, kind of did, and then got to the ship and did nothing else. This game is just collecting dust at this point. After that, I have a game here with no arts, but I got this at a retro game store 2 years ago, and it is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Hey, would you look at that? Another fighting game, and it features Street Fighter characters. Well, wouldn't you know it? The reason why I have this game is because of Lythero once again. He is a fighting game YouTuber. He played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Because of that, I went and bought this. I didn't know there was an Ultimate version for the PS3 and Xbox 360. I ended up buying the base game. My mistake, but it's still there. I quite like it. Next up, it is the game franchise that I have the longest history with in terms of FPS games. It is the Halo series. Initially starting off with the Halo 4 game for Xbox 360. When I bought this at EB Games, the clerk kept saying, initially the box was a green one, like the Marvel 3 case right there. But the clerk ended up having to upgrade the box for me every single time he found a new one. So the latest one and the last one that he found was this one, the Halo 4. I think this is a special edition. This is one of my prized possessions. I played the shit out of Halo 4 a lot. I am a Halo fan, and because of that, I ended up getting the rest of the Halo games. Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 3, Halo 2, and 2 versions of Halo 2 technically. The story behind this is that I accidentally bought the special edition, limited collector's edition for Halo 2 without knowing that there was supposed to be 2 discs in it. Ended up just being 1, and that was disc 2. I forgot to ask the clerk about it, and because of that mistake, I ended up having to buy a separate Halo 2 game at a different retro game store, and now I have 1 box of dead weight and another box with a shit ton of weight because it has 2 discs and 2 game manuals in it. Oh my goodness, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with that. But yeah, I will eventually get through the entirety of the Halo series later on. I don't think I'll ever play Halo 5. And last but not least, the last game I bought for the Xbox 360 is the Nier game. Of course, I am a Nier fan. I love Nier Automata, Nier Replicant. This is the original version of Nier Replicant when it came out back then. This is the American version. Nier Replicant has the brother in it in Japan. I still have yet to play it, but I finished the main story for Nier Replicant, so I'll get to this eventually after I 100% Nier Replicant version 1.9744944. I don't know why the fuck I recited pi. Next up in my video game collection I have here is my latest console, the Nintendo Switch. I don't have many games for it physically, aside from these ones. Some of these games are actually borrowed from friends of mine, and some of these are actually my siblings. However, I will talk about them regardless. Right now is what I have is Super Mario Odyssey. I'm borrowing it from a friend who I traded with because he currently has my copy of Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, while he gave me his Mario Odyssey game. I beat it. It's pretty fun. I still have yet to complete all the moons, to get all the moons for that. Next up is Fire Emblem Three Houses and Fire Emblem Engage. I'm not a big fan of the Fire Emblem games. I cannot really get into these two specifically, but maybe I'll get to them at some point. Next up is Monster Hunter Rise. This is also from the same friend who gave me Fire Emblem Engage and Three Houses. But my actual games are these ones right here. Starting off with Animal Crossing New Horizons. I played it a little bit while it came out. I cannot play anymore. After that, Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. Probably the best Legend of Zelda game currently out. Next up, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I bought this at a Staples. Probably not the best Pokemon game that I have played so far. After that, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I made a video about Mario Kart. I fucking love Mario Kart. I have this game and I will always love Mario Kart. Nothing else to say. Last but not least, Pokemon Violet for the Nintendo Switch. I have yet to play this. It is unopened. I took off the seal, actually, the plastic seal, but I still have yet to play this. I will play it after I beat every other Pokemon game that I own. After that, what other games do I have here? I have Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega Mix. I have Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. And last but not least, what other games do I have on here? I have Smash Bros. Smash Ultimate. I play this game quite a few times with my friends. It's very fun. I have amiibos of all the mains I have, such as Terry Bogard, Lucina, Joker, Ganondorf, Cloud, and Little Mac. And lastly, probably my favorite console of all time, the Nintendo Wii. I got this Wii as a Christmas present from my family way back in 2008, I think. And yeah, it's been in my family ever since. It's my original Wii. I do not have plans on modding it. And all of these games are the ones that I have collected. Not really collected, I've bought them ever since then. First up, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. This is a game I did not have as a kid, but I bought it recently. And the reason why I have it is because I originally had played it at a friend's place as a kid. Next up is the game that is based on a childhood TV show I was watching as a kid, and that is Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity. The game is okay so far. I've only played like 2 or 3 chapters. The TV show, on the other hand, is amazing. I highly recommend you watch it if you have not. It is basically the French version of anime. It's French anime. This show is French anime. After that, we have Bakugan Defenders of the Core. This is the second game in the Bakugan lineage of Wii games. I have this game purely because I also played Bakugan Battle Brawlers on the Wii as well, which I currently have in the stack right here. After that is probably my favorite Legend of Zelda game of all time, and that is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I got this as a Christmas present in 2014 or 15, maybe. This game, I could not play it the day I got it, mainly because I lost the nunchuck. I don't know how or why it got lost, but I remember I could not play this game for a whole week until I found the nunchuck in my sister's closet. I don't know how the fuck it got there, but I finally got to play it after I found it. My favorite Wii game of all time for Legend of Zelda games. After that, my second favorite, or probably my first favorite, Legend of Zelda is my second favorite. My favorite Mario Kart game of all time, Mario Kart Wii on the Wii. I grew up playing this. Instead of getting another console, I got this as a Christmas present back in 2013, while my brother got a DSi XL. So thanks to the Wii, I was able to play this a lot more, and I am a god at Mario Kart Wii. You try challenging me in Mario Kart Wii, I will beat you. After that, we got the typical Mario Party 8 game. This is one I play with my friends. I bring it over to their place every time we hang out. And then I got Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the first ever Smash Bros. Game I've ever heard of and played as a kid. I thought originally that this game was a plagiarism game. As a kid, I only recognized Mario and Pikachu. I did not recognize Link, Peach, Samus, Meta Knight, Pit, Kirby, Pokemon Trainer, and Warrior. I don't know how the fuck I didn't recognize Pokemon Trainer, but I did recognize Pikachu. After buying it from the Canadian version of Target, which is Zellers, this game was the beginnings of my journey to playing Smash Bros. After that, as I mentioned before, Bakugan Battle Brawlers for the Wii. This game is actually fucking amazing. I highly recommend you play this. I'll probably make a video on this maybe in the future. After that, Just Dance 2014. Same thing as Just Dance 4 for the Xbox. This game is a party game. I play it with my family a lot. I can beat them at any song from that game. After that, probably the first fighting game I ever played on the Wii. By technicality, it is the Star Wars: The Clone Wars Lightsaber Duel game. I played this a shit ton as a kid. This is actually my second copy of this game because my first one, I lost it because I lent it to a friend and he lost that game and now I couldn't play it. So I had to buy a second game at a retro game store. So yeah, I have some good childhood memories with this game. It's actually pretty cool. After that is a game I got at EB Games because of a friend who owned this game as well. It is Spider-Man Friend or Foe for the Wii. I cannot get the actual case for it. But yeah, it cost me $10 at the EB Games way back when. Oh my goodness, back when games were affordable. Holy shit. So this game is a co-op game and single player game. I do like this game a lot. After that is Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension. This is based off of the movie of Phineas and Ferb. I did remember playing this game a lot, probably only like 2 playthroughs total, but I was jealous of people owning the movie, and anytime I'd go to Walmart back then, I would sit in front of the TVs in the electronics section watching the movie being played. After that is another game that I played with my siblings, Tron Evolution's Battle Grid. This is an okay game. I played a lot with my siblings. After that is Sonic and All-Stars Racing, the Wii game that I thought was going to be something similar to that of Mario Kart, which it kind of is, but the main difference is that the controls are a little tighter in this, and the music is really cool. It's still a difficult game nonetheless. I had more difficulties playing this than I had playing Mario Kart. After that is a Wii game that I got gifted to as a birthday present in 2015. It is Batman the video game, Lego Batman the video game. Probably my favorite Lego game of all time. Following that, I also have the other Lego games, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean and Lego Indiana Jones. These are okay games. I'd rather watch the movies, but I definitely play this a lot more. Next to that is SSX Blur. I thought this was going to be a copy of another game that I have on this list, but this game sucks ass. I got this at a garage sale when I was 15 years old. I did not play any more than the intro, and it's just dead weight to me, honestly. After that is my first ever Paper Mario game that I ever played is Super Paper Mario for the Nintendo Wii. I played the campaign once or twice, I think. It's actually really fun. I highly recommend it. Then after that, my favorite Sonic game of all time, I'd have to say, Sonic Colors for the Wii. I don't know why people complain about this game. I personally think it's amazing. The original soundtrack is amazing. I really like the music for this game. Next up, I have everyone's favorite Mario game for the Wii. I have New Super Mario Bros. Wii for the Wii. You can't go wrong with having this game in your Wii collection. I played this game a lot as a kid with my siblings. We've beaten it many times. We've removed many save slots, made new save slots. I have still yet to beat the World 9 and getting all the star coins in those levels. And last but definitely not least, the first game that I ever owned for the Nintendo Wii, aside from the bundle games, which are Nintendo Wii Sports that came bundled with this Wii. I remember seeing that. This is still my original copy. And I also got Nintendo Wii Sports Resort many years later, actually, probably last year, because, hey, you can't have one without the other, you know? But back to the last game I have on this collection, and the very first Wii game I got after Wii Sports Resort and Wii Sports is Shaun White Snowboard Road Trip. This is the first Wii game I bought after my parents got the Wii. This game did things to me. It is the most fun snowboarding game I've ever played. I do not have the Wii Balance Board, sadly, but I did play with the Wii Remote the entire time I had it. The music in this is great. probably influenced my taste in music for a while, but didn't get into the genre until many years later. This holds a special place in my heart because this game was the first game I've played a shit ton of. I probably have more hours in this game than I do of every other game that I own. As for the Wii itself, I don't plan on modding this Wii at all. I plan on just keeping it on its base hardware. I do not want to mod it because I feel like I don't have a need to mod it at all because I already have all my physical games here and I don't plan on getting any more. And here are all of my handheld game consoles. Some of these I got them earlier in my life, others I got more recently. So I'm going to go one by one for each of them. Starting off with the Game Boy Color. Now, the Game Boy Color, I originally got it from a janitor at my elementary school, who she gave us this model of the Game Boy Color and another one, which was turquoise. So currently, me and my brother, we have a Game Boy each. This one, on the other hand, this is actually my second Game Boy Color. My original one that I got way back when, it got lost somewhere. I don't know where or how. So this one I actually bought at a retro game store because, of course, I wanted to relive my childhood and I didn't have any other way to play Game Boy games. So this is the one I have. Currently, it is running Pokemon Blue. I also got this at a retro game store for about 80 bucks-ish. I already beat the entirety of the game on that, so it's currently on the sidelines. I actually had some games that came with that Game Boy Color, and those two are Tennis and Bugs Bunny. There was another game that came along with the Game Boy Colors and the Game Boy games. It was Pokemon Gold for the Game Boy Color. I originally had that way back when, but I lost it as well with the Game Boy Color that I previously owned. And the problem with that game was that the battery was dead. So my save slot on that would always reset. I didn't know that at the time. I would always be confused as to why the game wouldn't save. I thought it was a gimmick only to the Pokemon Gold game. But now I know that was just a battery that was dead, so it wasn't my fault. The new games that I got for the Game Boy Color are these ones right here. Some more recent than others. Tetris being the game that I got at a flea market at one point for about $5-ish. And I got some Pokemon games too. Now that I have the trio of Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Red, and the other one, which is Pokemon Silver, Japanese copy specifically. Now, there's a reason why I got this one, and it is because I wanted to learn Japanese. I'm still like somewhat learning a bit of Japanese, so this game is my excuse to use my Japanese in a practical way where I can read the text and learn how to read and understand Japanese by playing this game. Currently, my Japanese is not that good, but once it gets better, I will definitely play this game when that happens. Next up is the Game Boy Advance SP. Now, this buddy, this is not my childhood one. This is one that I bought a little more recently. My experience with the Game Boy Advance SP goes way back to about 2006, I think. I had a neighbor who had a Game Boy Advance SP, and along with it, he had a copy of Mario Kart Super Circuit. So I've been on the hunt since then to own a Game Boy SP and a Mario Kart Super Circuit because this game was the game that got me into the Mario Kart series. This Game Boy Advance was the first handheld console I've ever seen in my life. I also have a few games along with the Game Boy Advance SP aside from Mario Kart Super Circuit. Those are the Pokemon games, Pokemon Ruby and Pokemon Leaf Green. Leaf Green, I got it off of a friend for about 120-ish bucks. Pokemon Ruby, I got it for around 100 at a retro game store. I'm currently going through Ruby. Leaf Green, I am at the Elite Four, but my team is currently very, very bad. So not too much progress is happening there. I will get to it eventually, but in the meantime, I will do my best to continue playing Pokemon Ruby. Next up on the list is the DSi. Now, I have to be frank with you, this is not my original DSi console. I got this at a retro game store for about 70 bucks. I originally had a DSi XL, a black and brownish model, but I lost that. I don't know how, but I think it fell out of my coat pocket when I was about 15 years old. And since then, I dreaded the fact that I lost my favorite handheld console of all time. I think I got it as a birthday present from my parents. And the fact that I had my SD card and a copy of Pokemon Black 2 in it, and I lost a shit ton of flip notes on that console. So I am very, very sad. Till this day,
I wish whoever has that DSi XL right now is happy and does not dox me, because I want the there's a shit ton of photos and stuff on that I really want to have back. So if you're out there, that person watching this video, please hit me back, contact me and hand me back my DSi XL. But currently I have my original Pokemon White version on this console. Currently going through it. It's really fun. Probably my favorite Pokemon game of all time. For this generation and for this console. I also have some extra games for the DS. I have Mario Kart DS and New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. You can't go wrong with having these two in a DS collection. These are actually really fun games. Mario Kart DS, I have some very good childhoods playing it on the bus, on school field trips with other people that had their DS. It's really fun. Same thing for Super Mario Bros. The mini games on this are really fun to play. And I have some other extra DS games in this case right here. Some of these are not mine personally, but others are actually my brother's. For example, Heart Gold version, that is my brother's. Sonic Colors is mine. Since I have Sonic Colors on the Wii, I am also playing this on DS. I also have some of these from my brothers. These are all my brothers technically, except for Legend of the Guardians. This was the movie game for the Legend of the Guardians Owl movie. It's an okay game. Next up on the Nintendo line of handhelds is the 3DS XL. This one was gifted by a friend of mine who also gifted me, surprisingly enough, the Oculus Quest 2. This is a handheld I never grew up with, but I've seen a lot of friends of mine own a 3DS. Not the 3DS XL exactly, but it's still a pretty cool console. Since I did not grow up with the 3DS, and I don't want to buy any games, physical cartridges for it. The only games that my friend gave me along with the 3DS are Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, and you saw over there in the box of DS games, Fire Emblem Awakening. He gave it to me with a box. The problem of I'm not having games, I might as well just mod the console. So I got this modded. I added a shit ton of games on there. I even have some applications that I had on the DS, on my 3DS, on my DSi XL. Flipnote Studio is obviously one of them. I modded some extra stuff on there. I have a custom background. You can probably tell who this is if you know. If you know, you know, pretty much. And last but definitely not least is probably the first handheld that I bought at a thrift store in many, many years. Actually, probably the first one ever. This is the PS Vita Model 2000? I think it's a 2000, right? This one, since I didn't grow up with it as well, I modded it. Here it is. It's a custom lock screen, custom background, and I got some games on there as well, also with a few more programs. I have games like Hatsune Miku Project Diva X, Gravity Rush, Jetpack Joyride, Rayman Legends, Sword Art Online, Neptunia, Jet Set Radio, Legend of Heroes, and a bunch of other stuff pretty much. This console is actually really, really fucking cool. I didn't grow up on PlayStation. My experience with the PS Vita actually stems from a childhood friend of mine who had a PS Vita. I think it was a PS Vita, the first model, the 1000 model. I remember the back trackpad on it. So me just finding this at a thrift store for 20 bucks, I obviously had to get it. I had to pick it up because it was going to be a missed opportunity if I didn't. The joysticks were a little messed up. They had some heavy stick drifts, so I had those fixed. I literally bought them off of Amazon to get them. Cleaned the screen a bit, but right now it's a little bad. I cannot do much about the back plates. I don't think I want to get a custom case for it, but if I do, it's going to be a very, very difficult challenge for me to modify this console entirely. These have been all of my handhelds. I hold these very dear to my heart because I really like handheld gaming as much as I do for console gaming. And that, dear viewers, has been my entire video game collection. This humble little video game collection. Some people might think this is not a small collection. Some people might think it's just an average collection. But to me, it's a collection of games that I feel like I don't want to expand any further than what it is. If I do eventually get any more physical games, it's probably just not to expand a collection, but more so to experience the game for the first time. They're not really part of the video game collection, but I do have some other extra stuff in the background on my shelves, like the Oculus Quest 2. I also have some video game fight sticks for my Street Fighter games. Did I mention I really like Street Fighter? I also have the FOSS 2 controller for Sound Voltex. I have a few amiibos. I have some little figurines there. I also have a broken PS Vita that I'm trying to fix, but I don't think I'm getting any further progress in that. So you might be thinking, with all of these games that I have, I definitely have people to share them with, right? Wrong. The only times I ever do play games with my friends is if I bring a console over to their place for a party, and I just bring just the typical multiplayer games like Mario Party 8, Mario Kart, stuff on the Switch like Smash Bros. Other than that, the other games are just sitting on the shelf, just waiting to be played because I have a huge ass backlog of games. I already beat most of them. It's the newer ones that I still have yet to play. But yeah, so without anyone to share them with in person, I feel like the best way to share most of these games is to make videos about them. So expect me making gameplay videos or let's plays of all of these games. They're not going to happen immediately. They're not going to be spontaneous uploads. They're probably just going to pop up here and there in a mix of all the other videos that I have planned on making in the future. But yeah, if you stuck to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this little video game collection tour. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.